welcome to the regularly scheduled mayor and council meeting for the town of Brooklyn, Maryland. As we divvy out who's. It's Monday, October 28th, 2024. Please join us in a moment of silence, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We can share. I'm okay with sharing. I know Jack assigned us the microphone.
Yes, to your left, and Shanika and Mary have to share.
Yes.
You don't need one. You've got two.
Let Dean and I share.
You don't need
Well,
two.
I'm not used to talking to that side. I think that's a
Sure.
challenge. I like to talk to this side.
Well, in that case, we can share.
We can share. All right, first item on our agenda is the consent agenda.
Motion to approve.
Get up.
So I have a motion by Councilmember Wards,
Second.
second by Councilmember Nichols. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? And let the record reflect that the consent agenda passes unanimously with all council members present. Up next is agenda item 2. These are items for approval. Public comment will be accepted before each one of these items are actioned by the council. Agenda item 2A, motion 2024, yet to be determined on the number, declared property surplus. Water Department Director Jamie Latham is going to run point.
And Jimmy Charles has stuff on it.
I saw
too, so
that
I'm
there
not
was
leaving
public
him.
works stuff
I
on
can't
it.
let him out of this one either.
All right, so Jimmy Charles and Jamie Latham are going to run point.
That's good.
Page 15 of that.
Yeah. So we wanted surplus as equipment so we have actually some new equipment on the order to replace some of this. But the biggest thing is the water meters. They're taking a lot of our space up. And since I might have to be moving out of the building, I'd like to get them on gov deals so we can get them sold and get them out of here.
Thank you. Any questions for Jimmy or Jamie?
Jimmy, I just have a question about the street trash cans. There's 40 pieces. Are these the ones that were replaced with the new purchases?
Right.
Because of the arms of the truck?
We replaced the brown cans that we had downtown. We had them, we still have probably 10 throughout the town, like in the parks areas that we utilize, but the other 40 are just kind of sitting there. And we just thought it'd be nice to surplus them and maybe recoup a little funds for them. The cans we are using downtown work in a way much better for events. They're cleaner. Where they were positioned, and sometimes you had cars, so we sometimes had to still move them. They were not easy to move because the cars still might be in them positions along the street, and the truck couldn't empty. And we could only empty the brown cans with the automated truck. So the way we went with the new can style now, we can use them with just by hand, physical, and dump them in the back of the rear loader. Or we can actually dump them into, like during events, we'll dump them into the green waste wheelers and then roll them out of position too.
And I've noticed you guys are able to pull the can from the inside, clean them much easier. If they do get scuffed, the hard part with the old cans, you really couldn't repaint them and make them look nice. They're black, they're easy to repaint if we need to.
When we ordered, we had 12 cans, but we bought 6 extra liners. Every Monday, we bring out the 6, replace them, take them back, power wash them out, replace them. So they're always being cleaned, and at least once a week or every 2 weeks, we're going out with the truck with the water on it, and I want to wash them down, wash the sides to keep that clean appearance.
They look tough. Thank you.
And can you explain to me or share with me how this process works? We will determine tonight that this equipment is surplus, then what?
A lot of times we put it on gov deals, or if it's financially feasible for us, we'll trade it in. We were trading a couple of pieces of equipment that are surplus tonight in on another piece of equipment because I felt they gave us a more competitive price than, Gov Deals is just like going to Pete Richardson's over to Willard's. You put a base price on there, but you can get more than that or you might not get enough. And some of the equipment, I felt that looking at what was online, they give us more than what we would get off of line.
It's eBay for government.
Yeah.
You can go there, you can go there and bid on any
Yeah.
surplus equipment.
Yeah, Gov Deals doesn't, I mean, they're United States, I mean, everybody uses Gov Deals because it takes a lot of us having to worry about, it's an auction form, it's a,
Lieutenant Fisher has a code and password. We'll send him the information, like a tractor that we're gonna sell, a John Deere tractor, and we'll give him all the information. He'll put it on there. It's a 30-day auction.
we can make it
So
whatever we want, but
It
most times
starts
it's
as an auction, and everyone will start bidding on it. Some pieces go better, and then some pieces don't. We had a pickup truck that was one of the old S10 pickup trucks, sold a lot higher than what we thought we were gonna get. And then the other one sold, didn't even bring minimum, so.
Do they have the opportunity to look at the
Yes.
trucks and stuff before
Yeah.
they bid or buy?
Yeah.
But most of the trucks and vehicles are end of life, pretty much, correct?
Correct.
So how is the public of Berlin notified that these items may be available on that government site?
They would have to search Gov Deals.
Right.
Yeah.
And, I mean, you can look at anything from a bicycle to a trash can.
You can buy an helicopter and airplane, they're all there too.
We could, once they're approved through you guys, the mayor and council, when we get all the information to Lieutenant Fisher with, maybe if it's on by the next meeting, we can acknowledge that, hey, we have put so many items on Gov Deal on this date. We could, that wouldn't be a big process.
Would it be possible after the meeting tonight to publish these things on our site saying at this meeting, these things were
Well,
determined
they're on the site
as
now
surplus?
as part of the council packet, but we could draw attention to it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That's what I'm asking.
And,
Thanks.
I mean, we could probably even, once it's live, just let people know an informational post that surplus equipment's been placed on Gov Deals, you can search it.
Yeah.
And then you can also say, by the way, it's a nice place that if you want to look at trying to find something to buy, it's there. We don't endorse it, but
One of the places I just saw, Easton, just listed on their Facebook page that they had surplus equipment. I did see where Chrisfield listed on their Facebook page that they had surplus equipment.
That's what I would like for us to do.
But you still would have to go to the government
Yeah.
site
Yeah.
to purchase it.
And again, we've been using Gov Deals for a decade and a half. So it's been the mode that we've been actually disposing of surplus property, which has been everything from trash trucks to,
Bicycles.
yeah.
My concern is not with Gov Deals. My concern is having the public come in here and say, we had this information, we had this equipment available, and they didn't know. So I would like to give them every opportunity to be made aware of these things determined as surplus. But that's all I'm saying.
But some of this may be traded in, as
Yeah,
opposed to
right.
listed on Gov.
Well,
So they may not know all that yet.
yeah.
well, we can add another column to this and just say, and it doesn't have to be on the public meeting packet, it can even come out to all of us through email and just say, this was Gov Deals, this was traded in.
And once those items go on Gov Deals, first thing we can do is put it on Facebook and we can put it on the town website. That's the easiest thing to do and push it out.
One of the things too, when we do trade stuff in, it gives us an opportunity to maybe bring down the cost of the original price, but it might allow us to buy an attachment or a second attachment for that piece of equipment to stay within our budgeted means of line. So we're not just getting a tractor, but now we're getting a tractor with 2 attachments because we traded it in.
Hey, tell me about that sign. That was the only one I was curious about. What's the sign?
Oh, the one street sign?
Yeah.
They're not the street signs that are
I know,
for,
but I'm just curious as to.
They're
like, what was the
they're
trade?
old safety roll-up signs that say,
Detour.
detour right, detour
Councilman
left,
Nichols, you can't
traffic
buy Flower
ahead.
Street. On Gov Deals,
We do.
$10. It's not happening.
old
Not-
stands that
I know what I
are
was
6
trying
foot
to
tall.
When we have our auction, it will be
State.
available to
Correct.
you.
From the
I've
state.
been waiting, I know
We're
which ones
working
I
on it.
want.
Sometimes the state, I know in years past, the state highway would give us some of their older signs, but not all the signs. There'd be a sign that says, close a half a mile ahead. Well, we don't really have anywhere where we're closing the street a half mile ahead. And detour on this ramp, so, but we took everything because it was kind of a bundle free from the state because they had to always stay with upgrading their signage.
All right, let's open it up for any public comment or discussion regarding motion 2024 dash, I guess it does have a number, 63? Is that accurate, Mary?
It is.
Okay, perfect, sorry.
Sorry.
It's okay. Any public comment regarding the surplus equipment? Seeing none, we'll take an action by the council. Like to approve. So I have a motion by Vice President Burrell.
Second.
Second by Councilmember Orris. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, let the record reflect that motion 2024-63 passes unanimously. Thank you. Up next is item 2B, which is resolution 2024-03, Blue Creek wind schedule with American Municipal Power, and our electric utility director, Tim Lawrence, is going to run point.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. I'm here tonight seeking approval for the resolution 2024-03, Blue Creek wind schedule with American Municipal Power Incorporated. We've done a lot of research on this. Booth Associates has been highly involved in this contract. It's basically a purchase power agreement through LAMP with Blue Creek Wind Project. We're required by the state of Maryland that a certain amount of our purchase power has to come from renewable energy sources, which includes solar, wind, geothermal. So we're actually required that a certain amount that we sell has to come from wind. So anyway, I'll just go, it might be a little technical, but I'll try not to be too bad. I believe the wind farm will be a good opportunity for Berlin. Due to the Maryland ramping up a renewable requirement, the REC market is noticeably higher in Maryland. AMP has estimated the REC value at $3 per REC, but they could be as high as $23 per REC over the term of the purchase power agreement, which would be from 26 through 29. Current average cost per megawatt hour is $41.76, plus REC cost is $23. The total is roughly $64 a megawatt hour. In AMP's presentation, which was what I talked about a few meetings back about how the energy rates were going to increase from 26 to 2030, which they're going to increase, from 26 going up.
talking years,
This is year 2026 to 2030.
2030, correct, 26 to 2030. Anyway, they also believe that Berlin will receive capacity credits from PJM with an up the price $59 megawatt hour. Berlin should see a savings over current cost on the portion 14% of your purchase power. Berlin needs 18.45% of kWh cells that come from non-solar renewables such as wind. AMP requests an allocation of 2.3 megawatts, but a 2.7 megawatt allocation will correlate to about 16% of your sales. I think it would be better to be closer to the 18.45% without going over, but it's better to get what you need and not have to sell the rest. According to the presentation, the next step is to pass the PPA ordinance up to $59 a megawatt hour.
That actually should be a resolution.
Right. I went back to Booth and asked some questions just for today's meeting to clarify a few things. Just in case anybody is wondering where Blue Creek Wind Farm is located, it's actually located in northwest Ohio, which is part of the PJM footprint. Another question I asked was, do you have an estimated potential value in savings over the term of the purchase power agreement? Keep in mind that this is approximately 16% of your sales. AMP is expecting $56 to $59 a megawatt hour with a 13 megawatt capacity credit. That's $43 to $46 a megawatt. Plus the PPA includes RECs that you can use towards compliance. And over the last couple of years, the REC price has been at a cost cap which averages around $23 a megawatt hour from 2026 to 2029. That takes the price of energy alone to around $20 to $23 a megawatt hour. Berlin's estimated cost of energy is only $39 a megawatt hour in 2025. The difference is roughly $100,000 in savings per year if we're to join into this purchase power agreement. I said, what is the upside of participating in the Blue Creek PPA? Covering most of your non-solar renewables mandate at a good price where you can receive savings. Then from there, it's, what else was it? It says, if you take a look at the Maryland has the highest REC cost in the region, likely due to the aggressive renewable mandate from the General Assembly. That's why they're so high on the eastern shore. Through the wind does not fluctuate as much as solar energy, remaining requirements such as solar and that type of thing can be more expensive. So this is a good thing to join into. It can actually save us a lot of money over the term of the purchase power agreement. Hope I did a good job.
You did a very good job. I just want to reiterate a couple things.
Yes, thank you.
And that's that this is a state requirement because the town of Berlin has, the wind project is not a state requirement, but us to purchase renewable energy credits is a state requirement because we have an electric utility.
That's
We're
correct.
unique in that respect.
Yes.
Additionally, this Blue Creek wind farm has nothing to do with the current local issues regarding offshore wind.
It does not.
And this agreement has the potential to save the town of Berlin citizens that are really our electric utility customers at least $100,000 a year.
Correct.
From 2026 to 2030.
Correct.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions by the council?
Yeah, a question for Tim. I was going to ask you to define REC for the public, but the mayor did a good job.
It's renewable.
Then there are ORECs and SRECs.
Right, of course.
Yeah,
This is a OREC.
yeah, it's a renewable energy credit.
Can you let them know what AMP is?
That's American Municipal Power Association.
And one last question, where is this wind farm located?
It's in Ohio, northwest Ohio.
Okay, great.
So Tim, so is the term, I think you just said actually, it's 5 years. And I wanted to thank you for explaining this because I read this 5 times and I was still unclear on exactly what I was asked to vote on here. I do have a question about what's in the resolution though, page 2 of 3 of the resolution.
Can you give us a
Yeah, so it'd be the
22?
2 of 3 of the resolution.
Of the resolution.
Page 19 of
So,
the packet.
yes, page 19 of the packet, sorry.
Okay.
So it would be the third whereas down. Whereas prior to the adoption of this resolution, AMP, there's numbers 1, 2, and 3. So number 3 is offered representatives of the municipality the opportunity to ask such questions, review data and reports, et cetera, et cetera. So I just want to make sure that that statement is kind of on your side, right? Like you've had the opportunity to ask the questions of.
Booth and Associates acts on our behalf in
Okay.
matters like this.
Thank you.
Yeah, this is a high, I think you and I talked about this
Yeah.
a little bit offline, but a lot of folks really don't know, but our electric utility is very, very technical. You can look through some of the information in the packet and see that's on the surface level. That doesn't even cut into the calculations that Booth and Associates does for us on a power acquisition side, as well as when we have to go to the Public Service Commission annually and defend the rate case. But Booth and Associates are consultants for that respect. AMP is like a partnership, kind of like MML, that also offers some technical aspects such as this in consultation with Booth and Associates.
And I'm also excited, obviously, about the 100,000 a year savings.
Right.
So that's very good news. Well,
Any other questions from the council?
Thank you. We appreciate that you definitely cleared up that
Mary was involved.
line thing.
Any questions from the public? Yes, just name and street name if you don't mind, and come forward so that people can hear. How are you?
Good.
You should be going back to school. Well, no, this is your, this is your.
Yeah.
All right.
So, a couple questions, if that's all right. Jaden Johnson, 363 First question, when talking about savings, is it saving from us purchasing non-renewable sources? Is that where the savings are coming from?
No, the savings come from the PCA charge, basically. We're required by the state of Maryland. Every electric utility in the state is required to, a certain amount of purchase power has to come from renewable energy sources. This wind project is located in Ohio, but it's also in what's called the PJM footprint. PJM controls the transmission grid over 13 states. And by joining into this, how can I say this? We have two choices when it comes to wind and solar. We're mandated to buy these RECs. You either have to produce it yourself somehow, have a solar farm here located local, or a wind farm. But a certain amount is from wind and solar. They're called tiered RECs. You have tier 1, tier 2. Solar itself, you have to purchase within the state of Maryland. But wind, you do not. It can be located somewhere else. The savings comes from, I don't know if you were here at the meeting a few weeks back when I talked about the potential increases in electric rates.
Oh, yes, was for that.
Okay, that was from 2026 to 2030. By joining into this purchase power agreement, it's actually going to, what do you want to call it? It's going to save us some money on the solar, on the wind side of things, because we have to you either have to produce it or you have to pay a penalty for not producing it.
Okay.
So that over the term of the contract, it's going to save us a lot of money.
And we always, our consultants always evaluate that, right? Some years we'll take the penalty if it's going to be more expensive to acquire the RECs. But in this analysis, it's actually going to be advantageous for us to acquire it.
Yeah.
So as Tim noted, our consultant said, hey, look, it's better to lock in this rate now and potentially save that $100,000 a year for the duration.
Can I ask another question?
Sure.
It seems like this is like a really good plan for us to save $100,000. Are there any plans for us to not only meet the expectations by the state of Maryland, but to exceed our current renewable energy resources, or how much we're purchasing? How would that possibly save us even more money?
That's very hard to do, like say for a solar system, for example. If you wanted to build a solar system, solar systems are very expensive, like millions, depending on the size of it. As far as the town of Berlin and the way we're structured, the ratepayers are basically the ones that pay for everything. For us to build our own solar system or wind farm, that type of thing, we'd actually either have to go out and get a loan or a bond to do that. And then you're making payments plus interest over top of that. The way this savings is passed on to the ratepayers is through the PCA charge. And that's based on your demand. The higher your load is and the more electric you use, the higher your PCA is because you're paying by kWh. And this, by doing this, we don't have any choice either way. We either have to produce it, or we have to buy it from somewhere, or we have to pay a penalty for not doing it.
And if we bought too much, we'd be responsible for either offloading that or trying to resell it, which is why in the cover letter on page 17, it says, I think it's the last sentence of paragraph 1, 2, 3, 4. It says, I think it would be better to get closer to the 18.45% without going over. Better to get what you need and not have to sell RECs. So we don't want to be in the business of trying to resell. We're trying to acquire based on our demand projections.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Do we have any other questions or comments from the public? If not, we'll seek action by the council.
Motion to approve resolution 2024-03.
So I have a motion by Councilmember Wards, a second by Councilmember Nichols. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Let the record reflect the resolution 2024-03 passes unanimously. Thank you. Thanks, Tim.
Thank you.
I have one question.
Yes.
Mary, you and I signed that agreement?
There is a
Got it.
place for you to sign, yes.
We'll do it tonight.
Somebody in Joe needs to sign it.
All right. Up next is supposed to be agenda item 3, which is a presentation of the ARPA funds capital expenses update. We're going to push that to the next meeting because our finance director wasn't able to be here with us this evening. So go ahead and take a look at the files that are included in the packet this evening, and those will be moved over to our meeting on November 12th for the same discussion. So if you have any questions regarding that, you can pass those along in advance so we can make sure that they're answered. But we're really trying to make sure that we get all of our ARPA funds assigned by the December deadline. They need to be assigned in 2024 and spent in 2026.
That is wild. It seems like we just got that money.
Did you,
Yes.
well, I was going to have a discussion on one of the other, did you just want to wait until 12?
I would wait until the 12th, but if you have something in particular that you want to pass along to the finance director, then we can make sure that we have that information available if it's not in the packet. Just CC Mary and I on that email if you don't mind. All right, up next are the town administrator and departmental reports.
I do not have anything in particular this evening except to remind the group that there is a legislative work session on Wednesday evening, starting at 6 p.m. in this room.
And we'll be over at that table right there, so that we're all together.
Mayor, can I speak for a minute?
Yeah, go ahead.
So, to bring you all up to speed, with the new meters in, we've been going out knocking on people's doors. So, we've tried to put it out there as best we can. Kate's helped me out a lot. If you see a door hanger that says leak detected, you have a continuous consumption. We've probably put 50 out. Some people kind of got mad with us because they're like worried to death there's a leak. So far, we found probably a dozen or 2 toilet flappers stuck open, water constantly running. We found a leak underneath their footer, underneath their house. There was one underneath of a house. Multiple leaks all through different places. You know, kids turned their outside spigot on. They had them flex hoses, and it ran for over the weekend. The lady got mad with us because she's like, I don't have a leak, and then walked out back, and her whole flower bed was flooded. So if you see that on there, we can't tell you how to fix it, but we're just trying to advise you that you have a continuous consumption. Couple of small things to do is get some food colored and dump it in the back of the tank and let it sit. If it comes out in the bowl, that's a telltale sign, but you want to use like a green color or something you don't want to use a blue because it'll kind of blend in with the water, but like a green color, that is a quick reference. We can't tell you who to call, we can't tell you what to do, but we're here to just try to help people to conserve, and we are in a kind of a drought state right now. Our wells are doing well. We check them every week, our measurements, so we're doing okay with all of our wells, but we're just trying to help the residents save on their water bill or try to be conservative about it.
Thank you for that.
And also, we've done our, Mary can help me on this one, we've had to turn in, October 16th, we had to turn in our lead service line inventory to MDE. That was done October the 16th. We have 30 days from October 16th, we have to notify residents of the unknown. We have approximately 662 services in town that are unknown. I'm pretty certain our phones are going to blow up. People are going to be like, what do we do? What do we do? We still have a lot of work on our end, but this is all because of EPA regulations. If you get a letter stating in the mail that your water line is unknown, bear with us. We still have to do some work and actively figure out what's going on. This is part of DBF and our ongoing efforts to mitigate lead service, what lines you have, and there's quite a few service lines that are downtown are all under concrete, blacktop, so there's nowhere to really test pit unless we bust up sidewalks, jackhammer the streets up, so we're doing the best we can with age of the building and infrastructure, we kind of know some of the places are. But since we've not laid eyes onto them, we don't have a clue what's in the ground, and we have to put it in as unknown. We are one of the furthest advancement towns DBF has worked with, because we did our test pitting when we replaced our meters. So out of 2,000 meters, we only had 662 unknown. I feel that's a very great accomplishment. So I just wanted to let you all know, if you get a lot of concerns and questions, we would like to have an open house in the next couple weeks, month or so.
The letter to those unknowns will go out by November 15th, and then we're working to schedule a public meeting. Rather than trying to answer each person individually, try to have one meeting where as many people can come as possible.
And we're just trying to help people feel at ease. This doesn't make me feel comfortable, because I still have to treat the water, and people are upset with me because we know about it, but there's nothing I can do. This all boils down to it's a mandated problem we have with zero funding. We have been very fortunate. We have got money from MDE, and the council has been gracious enough to give us money to do this, but this is a mandate, it has zero funds for it.
I mean, and to that point, we recognize that it's important and that there's a time to be able to spend the money to make it work the best for everybody. And I think we've done that well so far.
And if people are concerned, they can look at our CCR report, which is our Consumer Confidence Report. The new one's up online. We just did our lead and copper testing and through, I think we had to do 30 homes on the sides of the town, and we passed it all. So there's no concern, but I'm sure people are going to get concerned when they get a letter saying that we don't know what type of their water line is, and they're going to be wanting to know, why don't we know?
It's also very important to remember, this is not unique to Berlin. This is aging infrastructure throughout the country. These are EPA guidelines because they're being applied throughout the country. So it's not that Berlin has failed or did something wrong. It's just old infrastructure.
And actually, Berlin's being proactive.
Very much so. Very much so.
Tell me, when you first started your rendition, you talked about monitoring and continuous flow. So you are now able to monitor folks' water usage and make a determination that they may have some type of continuous flow that's going to impact on their bill.
Yes, sir.
And you actually go out and inform folks of this information.
I feel that is our job to care for the residents and take care of the residents, so that if they're on a fixed income, to help them so they're not getting high bills and stuff too.
That's a very good thing. And that is a great service, I think, to offer the public of Berlin.
And to your point, we want to have Neptune 360. We can go live with it online. A lot of it's up to me right now, because we're just, no offense, and I'm not trying to make, we're so swamped with other stuff. There's a lot of stuff that has to be done on my end, and I can't find the time.
It's not like you were here working on a Sunday trying to fix a water leak, you know.
Yeah.
We know you've got a lot on your plate. But the important part is, just for clarity, nobody's really watching. Dean Burrell took a shower at this time. I'm just for clarity. The software is built in a way that if there is 24-hour continuous flow, it will send a report.
Yes, and we had, so when we started about a month ago, really pushing this hard, we can see down to the 10th of a gallon, which 10th of a gallon doesn't really set an alarm off. But we have been, we've had a few that are 180, 200 gallons an hour. I mean, they're ones really we want to get on there, knocking. But our biggest goal is to, the people that are, even if they're using excess water, they still pay our bills. They might be on a fixed income. We don't know. So Dave Bassett has really had that up. And we've probably put 50 or 55 door hangers out. Mm-hmm. And when we started, we had 79 continuous consumptions. Now we're down to like 40. So people are taking our advice and working on it. But I just wanted you all to know in case you all get questioned out in the public, because I'm sure people are, because last week I had 18 phone calls about, well, I got this door hanger, what do I do? Well, we can't tell you what to do, but we'll help you, you know what I mean, like, we'll go out there and open the meter up. Hey, do you have a valve, main valve that cuts your water off from your house to the street? And that's how we found the one on Bay Street. That's how I found the leak, and it kept continuously running. So then we found out when it went underneath the footer, it had rubbed over the time, it had put a little pinhole into it. And that was running like 18 to 20 gallons a minute. The ground is so dry, it never surfaced.
Well, Jimmy, I appreciate that and you letting us know, because it is, when we do get phone calls and we're not immediately aware of something going on, it is a little, awkward.
It's hard to put it in an email to send out to you.
No,
I'm a face-to-face person.
We did talk about this too. I think it's been a couple meetings ago when I think you brought up door hangers or creating something.
Oh,
And
for
this is something that was
gutters.
stolen. Yeah, this was some
Okay.
borrowed content that Kate,
Imitation is the finest form of flattery.
yeah, Kate was able to help come together. So we borrowed the template.
Well, I do
to handle the
appreciate
doors,
it. And I also wanted to ask you about the water leak today on the main.
You mean Broad?
On Broad, excuse me, yes.
Yeah, well, Mary asked me to stay because I've been here
You've
all weekend and everything, but.
Not told him to go home.
Yeah, but, so, as Mary said it well, we have an aging infrastructure. So, I can't talk, I'm not talking bad about the previous people, but there was 3 taps in the water main about 2.5 to 3 foot from where Hopkins tied it, when they had to redo the fire hydrant and entrance there at Broad Street in front of the lift station. So there was 3 old taps, we don't know how old they were still lead goosenecks to a 2-inch common header. I've seen that a lot in my time here in Berlin. Instead of doing 1 2-inch service tap, they would tap 3 or 4 1-inch service lines to get the pressure to a 2-inch line adequate. I don't know how they ever came up with all that, I don't know, but so what happened today is there was 3 taps that was about 2.5 foot from where Hopkins cut the old water main, did all their time in. There was 3 taps. Well, the center one, I don't know if it's from some of the vibration from all the work over there, but it split the main all the way around at that middle tap.
And since you're here, the lift station is.
The lift station is online. I asked them to leave the pump for a couple days. It's out there just because in case something happened. But as it stands right now, everything's working properly. But there's a couple, not hiccups, but as in Tim faces a lot, the generator's 38 weeks out. We will give them everything they need with the exception of the payment for the generator and the transfer switch. But it's 38 weeks out and I can't rush it no faster.
Thank you, that's all good.
And the other thing is Broad Street was only out of water for approximately 2.5 hours. So I want to give Hopkins and DBF and our guys credit because when we do new projects, we've been adding valves, which I know it's an expense, but we only put out 8 houses of water today. Versus with probably some of the older stuff, we could have 40 to 50. So instead of handing notices out, I asked Kate to do a code red, and we all just went door to door, knocked on doors because it's quicker, and we really had to shut the water off right then and there.
Thank you, Jim.
No problem. Thank you.
And thank you. I know a lot of our departments do come in on the weekends. Chief, you're an anomaly. Your folks work 24/7. But coming in on a Sunday to take care of that, thank you. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Are we still in the department?
Yep.
Jimmy, I would like to follow up real quick on an email that I had sent about a concern I received, the trash can at the pond side of Stephen Decatur Park. Can we put it back? If it's right there by the entrance.
Sure.
Okay.
But we only usually put them in the parking lot, the walking path back to the pond. not sure we've ever had a can
For a long time.
back at the corner.
You're talking about up top?
I think.
I think there's one on the pond side.
On the pond, I think anywhere that was easy for you all to get.
Right,
On
I
the
think
pond
right
side.
there where the parking lot comes and the path walks to the pond, I think there was a can right there, but I don't think there was ever, at least the time I've been here, back towards the pond itself.
Yeah, no, I think the way
Just
you're
right
saying
there
it
on the
is
corner
fine.
part. Okay.
And then the other thing, on the other side, on the Stephen Decatur Park side, there's that sign that says, well, it has our old logo, but it also says, details the rubberized path that's no longer there. Can we remove that sign?
Yeah, we want a new one, but it's gonna cost some money.
But we can take that one down, right?
Yeah, but I wanted to replace it with another sign, but.
Well,
I
that's-
asked Jimmy to wait until he's got
Oh, okay.
an idea of his budget
It's just-
until toward the end of the year. I said, Jimmy, wait, I don't want
Well,
to,
look, maybe we can just paint it.
yeah, I wanted to see where we stood on the budget before we.
Okay, I mean, it's just, it was just a concern, but thank you for addressing it.
A question about the utility bills. And there's some customers I know received refunds. So could you explain what that was for? Is it water and sewer? I know I didn't have
I'll
a.
tell you.
Yeah.
I'm not intimately familiar.
I think Natalie might be better to answer that question.
Okay.
Yeah.
When you say refund, you mean credits on the bill or?
Credits on their bills because I believe it was a reading issue. And that's why I just wanted to see what it was.
It's possible with water and sewer because there was a delay in some of them between the installation of the new meter and beginning to actually bill on that meter. That's probably related.
Okay. And I wanted to hear about the farmer's market for October. Is Ivy, should we wait till Ivy's here?
I would wait for a report from Ivy on that.
Okay. I want to make sure if we do, we'll update this. But I did my own research and heard very positive about it, particularly from the businesses and the vendors as well. But we can wait till next month. I just know we need to.
And we'll have Ivy at the next meeting to help with that. Any other questions for departmentals?
Mayor?
Yes, Tim.
Can I talk about the truck and treat event
Yes, please.
Saturday? It was a great success, large turnout. There was a lot of kids wearing their costumes, and I'm sure we gave a lot of candy away. I'd just like to say thank you to all the departments, department heads, all the employees that participated in the event. We couldn't do it without their help. Deanna from customer service and Michelle, both of them actually worked Saturday, gave out coloring books and crayons and candies and pamphlets to the parents, and turned out really nice. It was a nice event. We had Chesapeake Utilities there for the first time, and then also Worcester County Mobile Library was there, and they've agreed to be back every year from now on. Chesapeake Utilities, they had all kinds of like those little rubber hard hats, for example, and they wiped them out. Everything they had, it was all gone. So it was a good event. Turned out nice.
And you and I talked about it, but you thought, and I concurred, that was probably the best turnout we've had.
It was, yes.
And Tim didn't burn up a school bus, which
No,
was
I did not. I don't do that anymore.
I was looking at his power display that he has, and we got talking about how a bus did get a little too close to the power line once.
Yeah, I put the bus away about 4 years ago.
No, I can't say enough as well on the department heads that were there, the departments that were reflected during the truck or treat event. And I said it in an email to everybody, but just for the public as well. The amount of families that were saying how nice it is to engage with the departments, get to see what's going on, get to see the equipment firsthand. Between the display that you all put on with making Charles climb the pole, and then Caleb operating the tractor, I think those things had probably the longest lines.
The kids love the trencher operating in the bucket. They think that's wonderful.
So they did a great job.
It was a fantastic event. Lots of happy families.
Yep.
But they seem to really like the police
Siren?
the police truck there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the big truck that you guys have.
The military vehicle.
Yeah.
5-ton.
They'd activate the siren, and you watch Bragg shoot up the ladder. They'd activate the siren again, Bragg climb up the ladder.
You were good and tired by the end.
It was.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions, comments regarding departmentals? All right, let's move on to comments from the public. Anyone from the public?
Sarah has.
Oh,
Yeah, Sarah.
no, Sarah's in the mayor's
Wait,
comments.
later.
Sarah's in the mayor's comments. Any other comments from the public? Yes, just come forward if you don't mind. It's great to see you.
Great to be here, and thank you for all you do. I just have a question, something I have to say. I'd like to know why the planes are flying so low over Berlin lately.
Which planes are we talking about? The ones that are super high or the ones that are like going to the airport?
I'm not sure, I guess they're going to the airport?
Are they smaller planes?
Yes.
It could be the egg.
It may, I doubt it. It's probably the planes that are coming in and out of the Ocean City Airport.
I saw one coming, it goes over our houses.
What color is it, if you don't mind?
Brown and,
Do you like rock dusters?
no, it's not a crop duster.
Those guys have been flying a lot, and they've been flying.
And they're usually just, sometimes they're not, I've received some questions on this too. I talked to them. They're not always spraying. Sometimes they're planting cover crop as well. So
This is
they're
a
not-
nice looking plane. And I saw it, the first time I saw it, it was flying near Food Lion.
Oh.
And it was flying so low, I was like, is there some problem? And I've seen the same plane near our house, flying kind of low. So I was wondering.
Chief, do you know anything? Have you had your plane up, taking a look at it?
Not yet. We're working on it.
But I just want to ask.
And if you ever have like some details that you can share about it, we could always reach out to the Ocean City Airport to see if they have a plane that comes in and out frequently, and then maybe figure out what's going on. It could be something as simple as somebody's learning to fly, but maybe not going to make you feel the best that they're low and over your home. But if you want to share some of the details with Sarah, and then maybe we can reach out to the Ocean City Airport to figure out what's going on.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
About a week or two ago, I was coming out of the driveway at Schoolfield Street, and the crop dusting plane was coming right over Schoolfield Street, and he was really low.
Does it meet the description?
It was like a biplane. It's got two wings.
Yellow biplane.
Does this one have double set of wings?
Does it have a double set of wings? It's like yellow color.
No, it's more yellow.
And Miss Starr, if you don't mind, I think Sarah probably has your address, but just share that with her too, and we'll ask.
We know how to reach.
I know, I'm just saying. All right, we'll look into it and we'll follow up with you.
Take a picture if you see it.
And if you could record the time
Yeah.
that this is happening,
Okay.
that would help greatly.
All right.
Thank you.
I can reach out to Bob Bunting and see if he's fine.
It probably is Chris, but yeah.
Well, it's the sun.
Yeah. We'll touch base with them. Any other comments from the public? All right. Seeing none, we'll move on to comments from the council, starting and ending with Vice President Burrow.
I don't have
Yet.
Yeah.
Councilmember Nerd.
First of all, Jamie, thank you so much for helping the residents of Berlin to save money by doing what you do, the water. That's going above and beyond.
Yes, it is.
Well, it's not only helping the residents, I mean, but we have been to quite a few businesses too.
Right.
So you put us in a position to do this, and that's what our job entails, and that's what we're gonna try to do.
But those leaks go on forever, and you're saving them hundreds and hundreds of dollars.
Well, a lot of people get upset because we read monthly with our old system. You wouldn't know you had a leak you could have a leak start the day after we read, you wouldn't know for 29 days. At least now we can tell today, like tomorrow morning, I'll check our computer system,
Right.
and we'll know within 12 hours.
So it could be corrected immediately.
Yes.
Especially with
That's
cold
a
weather
very
coming.
good thing.
Yes, and that's the other thing, as the cold weather, which is going to be the nice thing, is if people have frozen pipes that bust and they're not here, at least we can get there and shut it off a lot quicker, or start investigating.
The leaking toilets, that's always a big problem, so.
It is, I mean, I'd say out of 90% of all the ones we've been to, that's been our most popular.
You won't realize how much it takes.
You know, just a flush is 2.9 gallons for flush a toilet. So just remember that, if it's steady running, There was a couple businesses, there was a business this weekend had one running, and they were going anywhere between 275 gallons an hour to 350 gallons an hour.
Wow.
I got a 5-year-old that likes to flush 3 times a day. I'm like, dude, enough flushing. He's convinced he's sending it all to Mr. Jamie.
Thank you, Jamie. Anyways, another big shout out to the Horticultural Advisory Committee for Pumpkins in the Park. That event was truly amazing. It was well received by, I don't know, 250, 300 people that walked through, families. The families were absolutely loving it. The pumpkins were spectacular. All the people that carved one. A lot of fun. So I'm sure that event will grow bigger and better next year. And again, another shout out to Tim for Trucks and Treat. A great event.
Thank you. Councilmember Nichols?
Not much to say. October's wrapping up, which means our farmer's market ends or has ended. But then there's that, that something of its nature will resurface at the fire department or the firehouse in a week or so. So that's exciting for those of us who like to go out. And it's not just shopping that happens out there. It's a lot of that congregating in community and time to slow down and catch up. So, I mean, my daughter and I have truly enjoyed the farmer's market season, and the extended season was great for my mother being able to get that extra winter or fall produce and whatnot. So kudos to whomever's idea that was, and I look forward to that again next year. Jamie, your phone call or Michelle's phone call in regards to that water leakage made a huge difference at my house, because there was a leaky toilet for like a month, and that was a lot of flipping money. Because we spend a lot because my children in showers forever, and we're working on it. But to find out that there was also a leak meant a huge difference, and I could cut back on the amount of arguing I was having with them about showers. But it does. It means a lot when it comes to the amount of savings that you can have based upon old appliances and whatnot. That $100,000 worth of savings, that sounds so great. That's what Berlin is all about, and that's the big thing about that's what makes us unique with having our own utility plants here, being able to see those things happen in your own neighborhood and know that your departments are making those things happen. So we truly appreciate everything that all of the departments do to make Berlin as effective, efficient, and all the warm and fuzzies that you guys help us have. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Ward?
So first I just want to say, happy or recognize it's First Responder Day today. And so I just want to say appreciate and thank you to all the first responders out there, police, fire, EMS, dispatchers. And kudos, echo Councilmember Nurse, kudos about the events and the appropriate folks and departments who helped make it happen. So I'm just going to be real quick on this. I know we don't want to talk about this thing because we pushed it to the 12th, but we only have 3 meetings left this year. So as far as the ARPA breakdown, I did want to touch base, and we can circle back on the 12th. And I'll follow up with this calendar year. Yeah. And I'll follow up with an email to Natalie, but I don't want to blindside anybody. I would like to talk a little bit more about the Rails and Trails Phase 2 that is listed here. We don't have to do it tonight. We can wait.
That's why it's on, actually. That's why we have the agenda item on, is because the parking subgroup has talked about potentially reallocating some funds from ARPA that are unused to address some parking concerns. Okay. So that's probably what that pot of money will be.
Okay, great. And that is, that's all I have. Thanks.
Thank you.
The only thing I had is I had on my calendar tonight was Heron Park, where it's building to come back. So it's going to be on the 12th?
We had reached out to Gillis following the vacation. We had a couple, it's not on them, as it was kind of a mutual thing. We had 2 outstanding items. One, which I was going to address in my comments, but I don't mind bringing it up now. We've asked EDF to mark the rear lot line, and that's not done yet. I think it's important for the council as well as the public, before we really iron out the nitty-gritty, to see how far back that parcel actually goes. So that rear lot line is getting marked. Once it's done, we will reach out to everybody and make an announcement publicly that go take a look at it. The goal is to have that ready for the meeting on the 12th. The other item that we have that's outstanding is the roadway. DBF is realigning that so it'll hug the property line of 57. So it'll come in where the entry point is now. And then it'll go back to the Rains property. Then it's going to hook to the east and follow the property line of 57 straight back to the park. That'll service the public works facility, the skate park, and the passive use recreation. But it's really not delineated well on paper. We're waiting for DBF to help us with that as well. So those were our two items. Palmer Gillis had an item on his end that he wanted to work toward, so he had asked us to hold on putting it on for tonight with the goal to address all of those on the 12th.
Okay. And on the 12th, is that when a contract?
We have a draft contract, and that's, we thought that it was kind of ready to go, and we're hoping to share that publicly in this packet just for everybody to be on the same page. But there was another item that needed to be tweaked, so we held that, but it will be coming out very soon.
All right, thank you.
No problem.
Just piggybacking on that, Councilmember Green, I saw some of the stakes that are up there.
Yes, I don't know, are those,
I haven't.
we'll find out if they're the correct part that everybody needs to look at. So don't go back there looking just yet, thinking that you've seen it.
Well, I'm not investigating.
No, I'm just saying that you're welcome to see that the stakes are there.
Yeah.
Just don't commit that to memory that that's the point, because we want to really hear from DBF and then go out and take a look. All right, anything else, Councilmember Green? All right, move on to comments from the mayor, and we'll start with Sarah Gorfinkel. Go ahead.
Mayor and Council, I have two really exciting things. The first is that we will be participating in Operation Greenlight again. We did it for the first time last year during the week leading up to Veterans Day to acknowledge and raise awareness for mental health support to veterans. And since last year, I think it's grown throughout the county. There's now a tri-county Operation Greenlight. So Somerset, Wycomico, and Worcester will all be participating, and they're asking municipal governments to do it as well. And Tim and I are working together to get the lights on our buildings and at the park, the Memorial Park, all up to green November 4th to 11.
Thank you for that.
And then I'm very excited to share with you all the latest iteration of our town flags, garden flags, which I feel bad because everyone online won't be able to see them. So maybe I'll just pass them up to you and you can.
That's perfect up here.
Well, I'll just
pass them up and we can pass it by. We'll pass it like this, so everybody can see it.
This is the iron stand.
And Sarah, does it include this?
And I'll just.
The $30.
Does it include?
Yes.
Sarah.
I got you. $30.
Jack, hold it up high.
Hold it up high.
Sure, guys.
Well, stand up.
And there's one hanging outside of Town Hall, so you can see it on your way out this evening. The price is $30, and it includes the iron stand. And I feel strongly about saying that it includes the iron stand, and that way they will be uniform throughout town. We'll make sure that the flags aren't on the ground or anything like that. It really is a beautiful iron stand, and all the proceeds from the sale of the garden flag will go to our future community center.
$30, you get them at Town Hall.
Exactly.
Correct.
And cash or check, no credit cards, please.
And thank you to Sarah, and thank you to Councilmember Nur for running point on the flag development. We really appreciate it. So.
Well, you're letting me hang out.
It's a lot of fun.
Assembly is required, and we don't assemble.
It's very easy. I can help. I can absolutely help you assemble your.
Sarah will help you
iron stand.
assemble.
Very easy.
No problem. Very easy. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sarah.
That's what Sarah was saying too, and then I think there was some discussion. Councilmember Nichols said great holiday gifts.
That's what I was thinking.
But then go ahead and share your.
Thank you for saying that, Councilmember Nichols. I was thinking that we would hold off on selling them until the Merry Marketplace and have, holiday opportunities, but this seems to be a really good time. People are, working in their gardens, and there's you kind of need some color in your garden now, and we can sell them between now and the holidays. I'll just do another order.
I love it.
Yeah.
We like that.
We'll need like a little handkerchief next, or some gloves, or a water bottle, or something. I mean, scarf.
Well, you come up with the ideas, and you and
I just
Sarah
gave them
talk.
a 10.
Well, there's gotta be some substance
I'll
behind
forget
it.
it. I'll
Jay
forget
helped,
it.
Jay helped with the development.
Right, yeah.
You gotta help with the development too.
That's an idea.
We can work on it together, not to worry. Thank you all.
All right, so.
$30 each or 2 for 60.
Hey, 2 for 6. Jay's in charge of sales. Thank you, Sarah, we greatly appreciate it.
You're so
All
welcome.
right, the only other additional item that I have that we haven't covered already is wish everybody a safe and happy Halloween. It is not a town-sanctioned event. However, trick-or-treating's from 5 to 7 in Berlin. So just everybody stay safe and enjoy the Halloween in Berlin. It really is quite an experience, and the weather should be nice. I think
There
the
won't
weather-
be as many of us out trick or treating because that is the last regular season Decatur football game on Halloween night at 4 p.m. in Parkside High School. So many of us will be at a football game.
All right, well, you can trick or treat at 7:01. I'll have these candy.
In my jersey, yes.
There you go. All right, any comments from the press? You don't want to introduce yourself to everybody publicly?
I can do that.
Go ahead, why don't you do that?
I'm Tara Fisher with Ocean City Today Dispatch.
Thank you so much, thanks for being with us.
Welcome.
All right, Vice President Burrell, you're up.
Move to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, have a great evening. Sarah, you can have 10 minutes.